What's up, y'all? It's your boy JK. It's straight from the New Nature office. And, today we're just going to be going over how Rebuild 2 for the streets came to be. So, Rebuild 2 was just an idea that came kind of out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, I was just like, I need to take, because Rebuild is really a nonprofit that I'm doing or that I'm building. And we have a Facebook group, and we really just give a whole ton of life skills coaching to adults, young adults ages 18 to 35, and our goal is really to help people adult better, make the transition into adulthood easier for people after high school, and for those who are almost at the point of no return, about to slip into just becoming an old hopeless soul, who gets stuck in the traffic of life. It's to help those people as well before they just, end up being people who, never live their dreams. They never get themselves together. They never learn how to budget money. Never learn, what this life is about, relationships, or never buy their first home or anything like that. And where I'm from, that's a whole lot of that. It's a whole lot of that. Just being from the inner city of Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Most of us, are government assisted, and we don't know what it is to leave the city for real. For a lot of people I grew up with died, never leaving the state or the country or the city, let alone. It's just the consequences of poverty, really. A lot of people say money is the root of all evil, but that's not really the accurate quote. The actual quote is, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not to add to the scriptures, but I would say it's also true that the lack of money is the root of evil a lot of times as well. You have more crime in low poverty areas because they're in survival mode. When you're in a 5,000 square foot home, or it can even be in 1,000 square foot home. Some people have the benefit of that. That even sometimes that's a benefit. When you're in a bigger home in a nice neighborhood with money in the bank, you're not worried about trying to steal from the next man. You're not worried about trying to prove anything to the next man. Your mind is at ease. You're able to treat people better because you're not plotting on them. You're not worried about them plotting on you. And I wanted to make this tape to speak the language of the people I grew up with and around. I wanted to make this tape to tell more of my story as well. When you listen to this mixtape, it's going to be a lot of things I never spoke on, about my past, about what I've been through trying to find myself, and things that I've done. I'm going to talk about things that when I've shared them with some people in my life personally, just in conversations, they're like, how could you, what? You did that? You were that person? So I'm sharing more about that type of stuff. Mine too actually was, I feel like it was the last song that I wrote for this project, but it ended up being the track number one because just the content of it, how I start off.
Katie's back up in the streets like I ain't left a skip to beat the odds. Had to leave for my due season, got a whole house in the car.
It was almost like a reintroductory track. I just so happened to write it last, and so I'm like, yo, this needs to be track number one. I need to open up with this. And I heard the beat because I was just on YouTube and I saw that King Von's Camp had released this new music video of his that he recorded before he died, obviously. And I like to keep up with hip hop because I like to keep up with, what the new sounds is, the new trends. And I like to study rappers as well, whether they're Christian or not. And the beat was crazy. I immediately was just like, I need to do this beat. I need to do this beat. The video was also just absolutely amazing, like quality wise. Jerry Production, I want to record with him one day. Jerry Production is just amazing, and the way I ain't even gonna get into all that, but the video was crazy. The beat was crazy. King Von was just such a dope spitter, aside from the content, I don't agree with all the murderous content and things like that, but I listened to his story. He's talking a lot about his feelings in that song. A lot of people miss that when they hear gangster rap. They just hear, you know, what their emotions cause them to do, or what the pain causes them to do, but they don't hear like the emotion. They don't hear the pain. And in that song, if you listen, and I'm not recommending everybody listen to it if that's not, you know, you can't handle that with your religious beliefs. But if you're somebody who is like me, who, you know, likes to listen to the feelings of these guys, and you study rap because you're an artist or whatever the case is, when you hear the song, he says a key line that got me, and it was, I had to gangbang, I didn't have any options. It reminded me of why I made this tape, because I grew up a little bit more fortunate because my grandmother let me know that I had options. A lot of kids I grew up around, they didn't have their parents teaching them that they had options. You know, a lot of my friends' parents, they're smoking with them, drinking with them at a young age, not as adults, teaching them to throw gang signs up and things like that. And I was fortunate that my grandmother taught me about God and about bettering myself as a person and being educated. We had to stand military, like hands at our side, and recite scripture at 5, 6 years old. She kept us on a tight schedule along with her daycare. It was TV time, snack time. We were scheduled like military. My grandma was a real militant. They say a woman can't raise a man, but she did a heck of a good job. I mean, my grandmother was so militant, and you know, she was soft whenever she needed to be. Like, we were writing in cursive before we even started kindergarten. You know, we were well advanced. We were always reading a grade or two above our level. I had an awareness of my options, but I also was pulled into the influence around me. I felt like, even though my grandmother was saying this, I felt like I didn't have no options, because you couldn't walk to the store without somebody trying to bully you out your bike, or your headphones, or your shoes, or just trying to fight you because, you know, they're angry, and that attitude is passed down to them generation. And it's so thick. A lot of people don't get, you know, they judge us because they don't understand the thickness of the trauma just passed down through so many generations. But I felt also forced to be in the streets because it's either kill or be killed. It's either, you know, beat somebody up or you get beat up. It's either steal or you get stolen from. That's the type of lifestyle we just had to live because of survival mode. And, you know, I didn't live it to the extent of most people. You know, me and my middle brother were fairly good kids, but my oldest brother was deep in the streets, and we had a lot of protection because of him. But we still had drama with kids our own age and whatever. And we were constantly being bullied because we were pretty much good kids. And I was just, all my life, just back and forth, like, I want to be hard body, but I got this heart. I couldn't get away from the heart inside of me for my people. I couldn't, like, if I beat somebody up, which is pretty often because I was always getting in fights. I always had to defend myself because I was always getting bullied. I never was one to start stuff, but, you know, I was in a lot of fights, and a lot of them I won. Most of them I won, but I always felt so bad. Like, I hate it. I would always tell my brother, like, I hate beating people up, yo. When like, it's so bad to the point where if I knock somebody down, I couldn't just get on top of them and start wailing on them. Like, I would just want to knock them down and beat them enough to it be over with. I felt like once you fell, I proved my point. You know, I always had that heart inside of me, but I would see other people just like boom, 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 kicking, stomping. I couldn't do it, you know. You know, maybe a couple times I did it. Most of my fights, I've been in over like 40-something fights. And there's other people who've been in more than me, but like 40-something fights. And I couldn't find it in me to just stomp somebody out or wail on them like that. There's another line he said, I got the world on my shoulders, just wish my family was closer. And those are lines that people skip over when they listen to gangster rap. You know, they just judge everything else they're saying. They miss like these rappers are pouring out their pain. So I really wanted to dive into this specific song, just talking about my mission to help, you know, provide a different perspective. My mission to come back, because I had to get out of that environment for a long time, get myself together. And so this song is really addressing my mission to get back into the streets and spend time with people that I had to distance myself from for a season, to get myself together. It's really about my journey, just doing things differently and relieving myself of the pressure to do things this way or that way, just because it was my environment told me I had to. You know, my mission to just be stronger than succumbing to the pull around me, the peer pressure around me. So yeah, that's what Mine 2 is about.
White man brought us overseas and they still overseas. Spitting our face, but they still in the biz. I feel like Drake, but I need me some Jesus. Lord knows I need me some Jesus. Need me some.